it was not legal to take a tank out without somebody has his head up out of the turret on top. And so we had all the tanks going out there that day to this range, way out. And this is out in the boondocks of Kentucky. And one little guy was assigned to me. I think he was a mail clerk. He'd never even touched a tank before. So I told him, I said, well, get up there and put your headphones on. And all you do is just keep your head out there and we'll go. So all these tanks pulling out, but a lot of noise, this and that, whatever. He has your little head sticking up out of there. And we pull out, and this big, huge column. I don't know how many tanks. I have no idea. And we came up to this one intersection out in the boondocks. We're quite high in altitude, it seemed like. And the road was a T intersection, and I turned to the right, and the other tanks had turned right, and I looked down there, and it was a huge ravine. It was probably, I imagine, close to 3/4 to a mile wide. And they had built up the road with dirt fill, so it looked like a tight rope wire that sagged in the middle, you know, and it wasn't very wide. It was about it couldn't have been more than a lane and a half. It just wasn't wide. I don't think you could get 2 tanks beside you. I don't think so. So I thought, well, this is a wonderful place to see how fast one of these things will go. And so I came up to the top of this hill, and I stopped, and I let the tanks ahead of me just creep on down through the air and down till they finally disappeared. And I saw they turned up there to the left, way at the top of the other side. And so I looked behind me, and all these tanks are sitting there idling behind me. And so I hit it, slapped it in gear and smashed the accelerator down, away we go. The old tanky bucks up and down the hill we go. And I hear this little guy up in the top screaming through the intercom. And well, he'll be all right. And so we're going down, going awful fast. Noise. I think the tracks were round. You had to be there. Anyway, I wanted to see how fast they're going, so I hit my release on my seat and dropped down into the compartment. Now I can't see the road at all. Nobody's driving. I'm down in the bottom. I look down there, it's a little over 60 miles an hour in this little tank. You're not supposed to go that fast. But it did. It's a funny little tank. It was different than the others, and it had, you kick back, and had an overdrive in it. Nobody ever said that, but it took off. Anyway, the little guy on the top, had his feet down between the driver's compartment and the turret, and he was kicking me. I don't know what he's trying to do. It was bad. He didn't want me to be doing this. He's kicking me. So I moved my seat up a little bit so he couldn't kick me anymore. And he just yelling, so I pulled up my earplugs. And came down, and oh yeah, I wanted to see if we're still on this road, because if we'd fallen off, it was huge ravine on both sides. We're just on the top. So I pushed the release and up I came, and yeah, we were right straight on the middle, man, doing really good, straight. I said, that's good. So we get up to the top, and I'd seen where they turned, so I took a left, and here they all were up there parked, and I pulled in there. I thought, well, I'll probably get court-martial for doing all this stuff. So I pulled in, and everybody was just cheering and clapping, and yeah, how fast, all this stuff. And I looked back at the road, and there was this dust cloud filled the entire ravine from on one side. You couldn't even see it. I tore half that road off of there. And I said, now we do it 60, 65, this and that, whatever. Everybody's congratulating me. And this little guy, I think he's kind of a Puerto Rican. And he crawled out of the turret, and he crawled out onto the deck of the tank, and he was wet from his belt down to his boots. He had lost it, and everybody just, I never heard people laugh so hard in my whole life.
Okay.
That was beautiful. That was worth it. I wish I had this camera to show you what the picture was. It was beautiful. Anyway, that was the tank.